synth influence for you as well. And like,
Yeah.
when did you start playing around with more than just like I guess the conventions of doom, like I guess the instrumentation of doom metal or rock? When did
Yeah.
you start like sort of playing around with layers? Because you can just there's quite a few layers in your music, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, I've been making music for a long time, even before Stag's Yarrow. But you know, in like 2019, I was writing as well as like a lot of thrash. I was also starting to write a lot of like black metal, and like black metal thrash, and just like this very like angsty, aggressive, stuff. And I moved to Sweden, and I didn't have my amp. I just had my guitar, and so when I was trying to record songs for my like at the time SoundCloud through like a gaming microphone or whatever, like a
Yeah,
headset
right.
mic, I had to basically just play my electric guitar unplugged and like edit the hell out of it. And so I started writing more mellow tunes. And when I came back to New Zealand, like I my dad had a guitar, and I would just like I'd be stuck down there in COVID times, and so I couldn't be playing metal all day with my parents like being like, oh, shut up, So I started like, and I'd started learning to sing when I was in Sweden because I didn't have an amp. I couldn't just scream over this no sound kind of. And so I started learning to sing, and like I started writing more like acoustic songs. And what was the question again?
No, it's just sort of like you've opened yourself up
Oh,
to more like with the layers of your music.
I
Yeah.
guess I guess what I'm saying is like that kind of thing taught me that experimenting with different genres, even if like let's say I go write some like elevator music tomorrow, I might not do anything with that song. I might not like it. I might not ever play it again. But I would probably have learned some things from trying to do that and the different like techniques, different things. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And from experimenting and kind of like dipping my feet in a few different pools or whatever, it kind of like all comes back the best bits from each of those. So, I think that the doomy side is even probably more recent for me than, you know, some of the like the black metal elements, for example, at the end of Funeral where it goes like blast beaty and stuff like that feels more like traditional for me, you
Yeah,
know?
you're familiar with that territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are bands like Darker and like Funerals and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
I
that
know
who
Darko. Yeah,
yeah,
heard of
that
them.
kind of like vibe is I've found ever since hearing bands like that in the last few years, I'm like, oh my god, like this music understands me, you know. So I'm kind of now creating the music that I want to like listen to, I guess, and just the influence of just having experimented with other stuff like writing folk music, writing jazzy kind of stuff, being a music theory nerd, like that just kind of seeps its way in there where it does.
A lot to play with. Yeah, it's quite interesting now that I think about it more with like you saying about the black metal, a very like full on audio experience. It's just very chaotic, heaps happening. To Doom, which is just space, music
Yeah.
from no space to all the space.
It is like that, but
Yeah.
it's also like if you think about obviously like black metal is like pretty varied. Like you'll have like Emperor, and then you'll have like Marduk, which are like two completely different vibes, right? Like you listen to like Emperor's anthems to the and like in the night side and stuff like that, and it's obviously heavy or whatever, but it's mostly just very atmospheric and like creates this kind of dark overtone kind of vibe. And then with Marduk, then you've got this like, okay, this is a fucking aggressive. You listen to like like Fist Fucking God's Planet and songs like that, and you're like, whoa, but I think like the thing that I like most about black metal is the atmosphere it creates and like the feeling. I guess that's the thing. It's like it's less about the genre. I love cool riffs, but it's less about the cool riffs and it's more so the feeling that it evokes. And so doom metal and black metal, as well as other genres, both share that where they can create this very like impending doom kind of feel.
Right.
And I think that's what I want to achieve in some way or another.